Portal. Current events. Portal talk language. Watch view source. Worldwide current events. Sports events. Recent deaths. Entry views by week list. Today's most viewed articles. Topics in the news. Damaged highway in Glan. Serengeti. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake strikes the southern coast of Mindanao in the Philippines, leaving at least 47 people dead. Damage pictured. Protests take place against the proposed tourism development on the environmentally protected island of Sazan, Albania. An explosion at Atong National Liberation Army base in Myanmar leaves 43 people dead. In 2020 cricket, the Indian Premier League concludes with Royal Challengers Bengaluru defeating Gujarat Titans in the final. Ongoing. Ebola epidemic. FIFA World Cup. Iran war. Lebanon war. Russo-Ukrainian war timeline. Sudanese civil war timeline. Recent deaths. Richard Collier. Antonia Savis. Soriano. Stacey King. Jurgen Kesting. Alan Hale. Bernadette Chirac. Nominated article June 12th. 2026. Friday. Edifice Story Watch. June 11th. 2026. Thursday. Edifice Story Watch. Armed conflicts and attacks. 2026 Iran war. 2025 to 2026 Iran United States negotiations. 2026 Iran war. Ceasefire. Pakistan. In the 2026 Iran war, the Pakistani Foreign Ministry reaffirms that Pakistan is still engaged in ceasefire mediation efforts to end the war amidst renewed tensions between Iran and the United States. AFTV Al Arabiya. United Arab Emirates in the 2026 Iran war. Iran United Arab Emirates relations. Bloomberg reports that officials from the United Arab Emirates and Iran have met phase 2. Phase for the first time since the start of the war on February 28th. The Jerusalem Post. Bloomberg. The Iranian Foreign Ministry says that the ceasefire with the U.S. is practically meaningless after the recent attacks. The Guardian. U.S. President Donald Trump cancels an upcoming round of strikes for this evening after previously threatening to strike very hard tonight, claiming that talks are in progress with Iran. Reuters. Axios. 2026 Iranian strikes on Arab countries. 2026 Iranian strikes on Bahrain. 2026 Iranian strikes on Kuwait. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force and Navy combat air and drone strikes targeting U.S. military bases, including Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait and Sheikh Issa Air Base in Bahrain. Al Jazeera. 2026 Iranian strikes on Jordan. Jordanian Air Defense Systems and Royal Jordanian Air Force says that they have intercepted and shot down 20 missiles from Iran towards the Azraq area of Jordan's Zarqa Governorate. Middle East Monitor. 2026 Strait of Hormuz crisis. The headquarters of the Iranian military declares that the Strait of Hormuz is closed to all traffic, including oil tankers and commercial ships, due to renewed tensions in the region and U.S. strikes against Iran. Reuters. The United States Central Command denies Iran's claims that the Strait of Hormuz has completely closed, insisting that commercial ships are continuing to transit in and out of the waterway. The Times of Israel. NBC News. The South Korean Oceans Ministry says that a liquefied natural gas carrier has crossed the Strait of Hormuz and arrived in Ulsan, making it the second vessel from the country to cross the waterway. Yonhap News Agency. Korea Herald. Iranian media reports that explosions were heard in southern Iran amidst a new wave of U.S. strikes, including Bandar Abbas in the Khartoum area of Minab. AA. Sudanese Civil War Kordofan Campaign. A monitoring group reports that drone strikes in El Obeid, North Kordofan, Sudan, have killed 23 people and injured at least 19 others. The group attributes the attacks to the Rapid Support Forces, although it has not been independently verified. AFTV Arab News Japan. Business and economy. Economic impact of the 2026 Iran war. U.S. indices, including the S&P 500, Nasdaq Composite, and Dow Jones Industrial Average, rise after Trump canceled plans to launch an additional round of strikes against Iran along with the debut of Elon Musk's SpaceX to the Nasdaq market. Business Insider. CNBC. Reuters. Kuwait reopens its airspace to commercial flights after a temporary closure following Iranian attacks in the region. AFTV. The Daily Star. The South Korean Data Protection Commission finds e-commerce company Coupang $624.681 billion, $408 million for a data breach that the commission says exposed personal data from millions of user accounts. AFTV. The Manila Times. Reuters. Disasters and accidents. 7 people are killed and 17 others are injured in an explosion in Xingan County, Guangxi, China. PTI via Deccan Herald. Xinhua. 2 people are killed and several others are injured in a fire at a home in Magaluf, Majorca, Spain. AP International Relations. China-Philippines relations. China imposes sanctions on Philippine Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro, citing remarks he made at the recent Shangri-La dialogue that China said undermined its interests in bilateral relations. China also bans him, his wife, and their son from entering the mainland, Hong Kong, and Macau. AFTV. The Star. Reuters. Law and crime. 2015 Bangkok bombing. Thailand's criminal court sentenced 2 firemen from China to death for the 2015 bombing at the Erewhon Shrine in Bangkok, which killed 20 and injured over 120 AP. Reuters. Politics and elections. Premiership of Keir Starmer. John Healey resigns as the United Kingdom's Secretary of State for Defense in protest at a lack of government funding for the British Armed Forces, saying Prime Minister Keir Starmer is putting the country's security at risk at a time of growing international threats. Al Carnes, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for the Armed Forces, also resigns. The Guardian. BBC News. Sports. 2026 FIFA World Cup in Association Football. The 2026 FIFA World Cup consisting of 48 national teams for the first time begins with matches in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. AP Olympics.